So to me, the very first thing would be a half day consult. That's the
Yeah.
perfect environment for you to give them the strategies, get paid for the time that you're investing to do that, and for them to pay for the value that you're going to give them. And then your pitch is the way I do that is with a half day consult.
So working on a CFE deal, it's a brother and sister owned manufacturing company, doing about 6 million top line a year. The sister wants out of the business as soon as possible, but within reason. We're competing against an organization called Corporate Business Solutions that does tax planning, valuations, exit strategy planning. They kind of charge hourly, and I don't think they do anything like a CFE style approach, from what I can tell. I'm still digging into this to find out more about them. Anyway, my main questions are: as the sister, we're developing a plan for the sister to exit out. The brother wants to stick around for 2 or 3 years. Ultimately, then he's going to want to exit. How do we, one, structure the appropriate type of arrangement kind of on a monthly basis where we can kind of ferret out, how much we need and then how much we're going to have to pay out, kind of like you were just talking about in your prior discussion. How much does that look like? How do we figure that part out? How do we get a piece of the action on her exit? How might that look? What are some ideas there? And then if you know anything about competing against companies like these corporate business solution companies, where I could throw some nuggets out on my meeting on Thursday about how we're better and what we do better and why we're different. I mean, all that would be helpful. And if any questions you've got, so I can frame this out better for you, please ask.
Okay, so let's hit them one at a time. So the first one, help me get a little bit more dialed into what the specifics of that question is.
Was that what the first one about what the company does? Or
Well, I think it was basically how do we structure ourselves in that to get compensated, et cetera, right?
yeah, yeah. So we're going to need some financial analysis. Their books are kind of messy. They don't really show much of a profit.
This is
They
for
show
you looking at the company that's owned by the brother sister.
yes,
Okay, so you're going to look at their company to see about acquiring an interest either by acquisition or CFE.
yeah. We're gonna engage with them on a CFE arrangement to
Okay,
get the sister to help the sister exit, develop strategies to help them grow their sales, get the sister out. I'm hoping to get a piece of the action on the sister's exit, if that even makes sense.
got it. It does. So to me, the very first thing would be a half day consult. That's the
Yeah,
perfect environment for you to give them the strategies, get paid for the time that you're investing to do that, and for them to pay for the value that you're going to give them. And then your pitch is the way I do that is with a half day consult. We're going to basically take a look at what your sister's position is. If you're talking to both of them, are you talking to both of them?
kind of in separate meetings. It's a very weird situation.
Does the sister like what's the relationship? Does the sister want to go and the brother wants her to go, or is it like there's some tension and she's leaving because they don't get along,
No,
or
she
what?
wants to go and he wants her to go. She just wants a comfort level that as she leaves, that she'll be able to collect what's owed to her over. She's being willing to be patient about her, her millions or whatever she's going to get out of it, as long
Great.
as she's comfortable with what the plan is.
So what we need to do is we need to have clarity for both of you on what she is going to receive and be sure that she's comfortable that she knows that's going to happen and that there is a mechanism in place for it to happen. There is measurability so that she can look objectively at the numbers and see that her expectations are in fact coming true and they match what's going on in the business. And you need to know, brother, that you've got a situation where you'll be able to move forward and do the things that you want to do without being constrained, while also being sure that you give your sister comfort that everything's going to happen. And a lot of this isn't because either of you is concerned about the other. It's just, what if something was to happen to either or both of you? We need to be sure that whoever was going to come in, your families or your estate, has a way to deal with this. So it's not about you. It's about people that aren't even here yet. So the reason to have the half day consult is so that we can get clear on all that. We can talk about what's the strategy for making it happen. What are the KPIs that we'll be able to look at and get you from where you are right now to where you want to be. That investment to do that is whatever you want to charge. and we'll take however long you want to take to make that happen. That would be the ideal first thing there. And then you could or could not say at that point, depending on how comfortable she is, because here you got him who you would like to go forward with and her who wants to be out, but you don't want her to question your impartiality as you are helping to craft this plan. So you want to be careful not to be like, and then I hope to razzle dazzle frazzle you so that I can go forward with your brother and make billions of dollars. That might make her feel like, well, I don't know what kind of advocate you're going to be for me. I think I'd say, and I would love to explore this and help you guys set this out, and then maybe figure out how we might all work together going forward in the future. Right. Then it's planted, but it's not like you're not kind of polarizing between the two parties. Does that make sense?
Total sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Total sense.
Does that give you the answer to that first question?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. And then I think the second question was about how do you structure the thing for the sister, or because you had three?
Yeah. How do I structure it so there's a possible gain when she exits out? How do I gain from that in some kind of either equity or profits interest or whatever that looks like? What might be some options?
In your strategy session, in your half-day consult, one of the propositions that you might think about making would be, hey, we can do this thing where you're earning out here, but honestly, to me, I'm interested in buying you out. So what do you guys think about that? Because I'd love to come in. I think you've built a great business and everything. I'd love to just work a deal where I buy out your interest right now, and then I'll continue to go forward in place of where you are. And you'll know that you've got a fixed deal on how you get bought out, and you'll have it done.
I love it.
Right. I think that would be what I would be looking to accomplish out of that. And then everybody gets what they want, and you work it out right there in that meeting.
That's really cool. And then lastly, any experience with some of these companies like Corporate Business Solutions that do tax planning, valuations, exit strategy planning, they charge by the hour?
You're competing against them for this gig. Is that what's happening?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. I would just say, I'd say, look, you should use whoever you feel the most comfortable with. The reason that I think that you have a big advantage here is that I really have an interest in going forward with the business. And it sounds like, brother, you want to go forward. You're not really interested in selling. And so you can engage these people on a fee basis, and they may or may not work. Going forward, you might not get what you want. I know I can deliver you the plan to get what you want within the little finite session that we're going to have, whereas they're going to be looking at putting you in a complete process, and it's going to take months to do. We can get the whole thing probably resolved in a half a day. That's number one. Number two, while you'll have to make an investment either way, the investment to get to where you're going here will be significantly less, because we'll have the plan done, and then you can decide you want to execute on it. And if you want me to help you with it, you can, but you won't have to. Whereas with those guys, you're committing at the point that you engage them to work with them over months to make this thing happen. So wouldn't you rather have clarity in a half a day? And wouldn't you rather work with somebody who's got a genuine interest in the business and is excited about helping you make it successful, and even potentially being a part of it, maybe even a buyer?